It's my favorite time of year for movies. The selection of amazing horror films is almost endless. And here at Trivial Theater, I'm looking at some random and creepy suggestions to add a little different flair to your spooky month viewing. It's Hammer horror time. We're leaving behind the black and white classics of the 20s and 30s for some incredibly colorful mid-century masterpieces. Hammer Studios reinvented the Universal Monster movies, creating an iconic collection of films that still amazes today. First up is the gothic granddaddy, 1957's Curse of Frankenstein. The basic plot of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is mostly unchanged here, but the look is where things start to divulge from things you might know. Universal had a patent on the classic Frankenstein look, so Hammer Studios had to figure out a way to do their own unique thing. And I would say it's pretty successful. This was Peter Cushing's first leading role, and Christopher Lee's first role with Hammer. The two would carry on a lifelong friendship that started on the set of this movie. Overall, the movie was well received and spawned 6 sequels, all but one with Cushing. The Curse of Frankenstein is credited by many with resurrecting the horror genre, which had been in decline since its heyday in the early 40s. Up next is the Dracula series, starting with 1958's Horror of Dracula. Cushing and Lee starred in the lead roles as Van Helsing and Dracula respectively. Again, the story largely follows Bram Stoker's classic tale, with special care taken to separate it from its Universal horror counterpart. The image of Christopher Lee's Dracula, with fangs bared and lips bloody, has become iconic, and interestingly, he only had 16 lines in the entire movie. Lee also brought a kind of dark sexuality to the role that previous incarnations of Dracula really only hinted at. Lee would continue this role through 6 of 8 Dracula sequels. This includes my personal favorite of the bunch, Dracula AD 1972, which follows the descendant of Van Helsing trying to save his niece from becoming Dracula's next victim. It's an interesting, very 1970s take on the legend, and I absolutely love it. The last Hammer film I'm touching on is 1961's Curse of the Werewolf. It's ultimately a sad tale, but still well worth a look, and I'd say it falls well within the realm of the Wolfman mythos. Through a series of sad circumstances, a baby is adopted by a kindly Don and his housekeeper. A few years later, they learn of the terrible curse the boy carries when he goes hunting with his adoptive father. He grows into a young man, all while fighting the evil inside him, until his wolf side manifests at a brothel, killing 2 people. From there, it's all kinda downhill. This stands as Hammer's only werewolf movie, and it was Oliver Reed's first role. The makeup for the werewolf was based on the Universal Wolfman, but instead of the traditional dark gray and brown tones, they went almost albino in color. The movie was heavily censored, and the British Board of Film Classification gave Hammer the option of showing sex or violence, but not both. Hammer Studios has a full catalog of fascinating horror movies worth checking out. This spooky season, consider giving one a look. So what do you think? What are some of your faves? Keep tuned for other spooky suggestions, and thanks so very much for watching.